Good morning, gentlemen, ladies. Another interesting video. Not so much ham radio today, although the rig is still sitting there, but can be used at any moment. But just an interesting video to see if sparks any memories. Any ex-military guys. Now, I used to work here for 15 years. So this was my place of work back in the day, 80s and 90s. And this part of the base that we're going to now was very much off limits in the day. My workplace for about 10 years. As you can see, a very safe and security conscious gate. Looking over, you can see the towers, security towers. And here there is a triple fence. Back in the day when I would come to work here, I would go through this gate, I would be stopped here. There would be two guards would come out, check my identification, and then check the vehicle completely with explosive detecting equipment. The vehicle would be completely checked for any armaments, anything that could be potentially dangerous within the site. Then I would drive further on. I would stop here again. They would come out of that building there and they would come and check all my paperwork, and I would sit here for 10-15 minutes. Even though I come in and out of here every day, everything would be checked. This is Site 2. I would head through here. I would come up to this building here. You can see the blast walls on the other side of the building. And this building here, I would go in and get a coffee with my the US Navy, who I worked for at the particular time. I would go in through that door. The coffee machine would be on. We'd have a coffee, a chat, find out what the day's work was going to be. And then we move across here. Looking across on the other side to the left, you can see further gates and lights. And that is Site 1, not as secure as Site 2. This was a very secure site. I would have an armed guard with me at all times, and then be heading down to do my work on the bunkers. And here you go. And there's somebody working on their boat trailer. And he can use the bunker. And these are the bunkers I worked in, that now you can hire out if you wish. These bunkers were very, very secure, as you can see by the doors, weighing over half a ton each. A very secure system. The blast walls on the other side. These bunkers, they're about 6 foot thick of concrete, reinforced, and again intrinsically safe. There's quite a few different materials built into these walls. You can see how many there were, and then we come down to the bottom. So just you can see how secure this camp was. There is 3 fences. There's the inner fence, the outer in between, and then there's another fence which is probably 25-30 yards. In between the inside fence, that was patrolled by dog patrol, armed military. And then there would be on the other fence, well, a different kind of security. And let's say if you made it across the first fence, you were doing pretty well. There was many exercises here and nobody made it across the first fence. Nobody. And that was, well, we had the SAS, we had Special Forces, SEALs units. They would all try and penetrate the site, but it was never done. Well, not that I know of. So, pretty interesting. Now we come down to the second row of bunkers. Again, you can see just the ordinary civilian here. He's obviously got one of the bunkers and he's keeping stuff in it. So, I won't put this chap on camera. The dog's looking good there. So, this is the second row of bunkers coming down. You can see in the top, that would be the first set of bunkers went through, and that's the ventilation systems for them. Each bunker, as well as the concrete, is covered in covered earth and so forth. All ports here. These were fire station, but I think if there was a fire here, the closest place you would be was, let's say, many miles away. I would not like to have been here when there was a fire. There never was when I was here, and I worked here for 15 years. There was never any real incidents at all. Coming round, just to show you how big the place was. You have a second row, and there's quite a few people here, and that's all the bunkers there. So we'll give you a quick look and see what the doors look like. Let's have a look at these doors. I'll give you an idea of the security on this site. These walls, again, 6 to 7 foot thick, reinforced. And here's the walls themselves. Here's building 240, which I can remember working in. There's the old, well, the systems were all the old pyro at the time. I worked on all these systems here, all the electrical systems of the buildings. Power main switch and lighting. These control panels have been changed. Originally, there would be more intrinsically safe units like this. This unit is a much newer unit, probably in the 90s or 2000s. Up the building itself. Building itself, you can see the doors. These are new systems that have been put in, security systems. Very, very heavy duty. Doors themselves. Is this one open? I would need a bar to get that open, but there's, you can see with the size of the doors and the hinges, weighing about half a ton to 3/4 of a ton each side. Very, very secure. And that would be the blast area that they would hope the blast would go. But thank goodness it was never tested. So it can give you an idea. So anybody can own one of these, or not own one, but you can hire one out. Somebody's got a good locking system on that one. And that gives you an idea looking down at the length and size of the place. I had a motorcycle parked in here for quite a few years. I don't think there's any power here. You would have to have your own power now. But it's an interesting place to be. Just to make sure it is a ham radio, we'll just have a look. There's the antenna of the vehicle. The ham stick, which I found is as good as any. Cheapest antenna I've ever bought and the best, without question. And I can travel in the vehicle with that antenna. But obviously back in the day, we would not have a radio in here. So we'll just have a look. And you can see the security systems there. And there's a quick look at one of the towers. Give you an idea. There was armed guards on these towers at all time, 24 hours. I could go up and have a coffee with these guys back in the day. Very pleasant. I'll just give you a look and show you what type of type of security they have here. Back in the day, so you've got your bunkers, then you come back round, you have your security lights around the perimeter, and then we could walk up to the first fence. And I can assure you, even in my working day, you couldn't even go as far as this, towards this fence, or you would have been stopped, questioned, and you had to have the right answers, may I tell you. So there's the fence. So that's the inner fence. Now you can see the outer fence next. So you've got about 10, 15, probably about 10 yards between the two fences. And that was manned by guys with military dogs. And they would go around there all the time. In the distance, if I zoom through, if you can see the other fence, which was quite a bit bigger. Quite a bit bigger distance there. In fact, there'd be nearly maybe 100 yards between these two fences, and that is where the guard towers would be. And I can assure you that nobody got past that first fence. Nobody. I think they got into it, but they didn't get past it. The security was very, very tight here, and for good reason. So let's head back across, just to give you an idea, something interesting, something different to watch. Leave any comments if there is anything, or you did work out here, even if you're from the States at one point. I had many enjoyable years working here along with the USN, US Navy and Mines Department, and they were a great bunch of guys, absolutely first class, but very, very good at their job, very highly trained, and as I say, it was a pleasure for me to work with them and the US Navy. I can't commend them enough. And of course we had RAF Machrihanish, when that goes without saying. RAF Machrihanish, the RAF base, was a fantastic place to work. And again, the same for the RAF staff and guys that were here, all first class guys. Gentlemen one and all. Some of the older buildings here, that's the back of the coffee shop, as we used to call it. And there was lots of interesting things happened in there back in the day. But still, well, you can see the blast walls here again. That's a new building, that green building over there on the side. A newer building. But yeah, very interesting place. I used to work on all this equipment here. And look at that, lots of lots of copper straps still here for earthing. Oh, now that would be good to get in the shack, eh? There must be 1,000,000 tons of that still about the place. It's a wonder it's not all been stripped away. But just to give you an idea of what the base is like now.